Welcome to episode 95 of Insects for Fun, the entomology podcast that features other arthropods hosted by your not-so-local master in entomology. Today, we're going to dive into the topic of cherry shrimp, which are a common pet for freshwater aqua hobbyists. Cherry shrimp are small shrimp in the family Etiidae, which is home to around 45 different species, but the adults of almost, if not all, are restricted to fresh waters in both tropical and temperate climates. The species for cherry shrimp is Neocaridina davidi, and they actually originate from freshwater streams in northern Taiwan. However, the cherry coloration they are often associated with actually originated in China, from breeding them back in 1989. Soon after, they were reintroduced to Taiwan, and now they've been spread to pretty much every human-inhabited area on the planet in pet stores because they make for excellent aquarium pets. In the wild, they can be found through China, Europe, all of Taiwan, Japan, and Oahu, Hawaii. I actually used to collect them from the wild in Oahu with friends for our freshwater tanks. The shrimp are technically tropical, but they can be found in the thermally polluted streams of Poland and other countries like Germany. Thermal polluted streams are warmer than the natural environment due to the release of water used for cooling power in manufacturing plants. Now, despite their name and often cherry red appearance in pet stores, these shrimp are naturally greenish-brown or colorless. The color morphs that can be found in most pet stores are red, yellow, purple, blue, black, green, and orange. It goes beyond this though, just like with isopods. Some of the more interesting color morphs that have been bred over the years are jade green, onyx red, golden sands, and chocolate. There are also interesting split color morphs like the really shrimps, which have translucent sections, often with another form of patterning. All of these color morphs started from one hobbyist back in the day who noticed that one of his shrimps was pink. They bred this pink line of shrimp until it became red, and things just kinda took off from there. What's interesting is that the fire red line of shrimp is different between Thailand and Taiwan, with Taiwan's being more neon and Thailand's being more matte. Some people, or many people actually, love to have shrimp-only tanks, where they breed and keep a variety of colors. Shrimp, unlike fish, do not contribute much to the bioload of a tank, which means they don't really pollute the water with ammonia. And the shrimp feed on algae and other decomposing material, which naturally keeps water contamination levels low. That being said, they need a mixed diet of plants and animal-based protein. The recommended number of cherry shrimp in a tank is 10 to 15 individuals per 5 gallons, but this really doesn't matter at all. The fact is, you can have hundreds or thousands in a 5-gallon and they'll be fine. Most people spoil the water quality of their shrimp by overfeeding. But if you have a well-planted tank with lots of natural materials, then chances are you won't have to feed them that much at all. Another thing to note is that these shrimp will probably double in population anyway within 4 or 5 months if you don't have anything else in the tank to eat their babies. And this fast reproduction rate is actually how people have been able to breed for specific patterns and colors over the years. And we're still getting new colorations and grades of cherry shrimp to this day. And yes, I did say grade of shrimp, because just like there are grades of honey, there are grades of cherry shrimp, with the higher grades being incredibly vibrant in a color with no missing pigments. We're talking everything from the tip of their antennae to the last section of their foot or tail, purely in one color, and opaque as well, so you can't see through it at all. Now, the interesting part is that the grades aren't like your standard school grades of A through F. Each grade has its own unique name, like Sakura to Bloody Mary, with Bloody Mary being one of the highest grades you can get on the red line of cherry shrimp. Each color has its own specific names, and if you're interested, you can Google them yourself. The shrimp reach a full size of about 4 centimeters or less, and can live up to 2 years. Also, if you have a good tank set up with lots of aquatic plants, wood, and places to hide with no other animals, then you can expect to have an endless supply of shrimp. As I mentioned before, they're known to be fast breeders, and females can carry up to 60 eggs. The females hold them under their abdomen using their swimming legs, or pleopods. Females carry the eggs like this and keep them clean using their pleopods until it's time for them to hatch. The incubation time for these is about 3 weeks, and the shrimp have no larval stage. These shrimp are sexually dimorphic, with males having a smaller tail and being more on the slim side. The females also have what people in the hobby call a saddle because it looks like a saddle on a horse, which sits on the shrimp's back. And this is actually a set of ovaries, which they get when they reach sexual maturity around their 3rd or 4th month. The eggs get fertilized as they pass through the ovaries after mating and change colors depending on the genetics of the female. But most, if not all, eggs are some form of yellow or green. The term people use to refer to mated females with eggs is berried. So people would say, would you like a berried female, for example, or is she berried? Mating usually happens after a molt, and you can tell if a female is releasing pheromones because the males in a tank will become agitated and start swimming around looking for a female. Now, when it comes to behaviors of cherry shrimp, they are in fact super docile, but they're also active, and the best part is they're active during the day. If you keep them with fish, then chances are you probably won't see them out and about. But if you have a tank with only shrimp, then you can really see their personalities shine through. The behaviors for small aquatic animals like these change drastically depending on their tank mates and what kind of environment you place them in. People find that when they have shrimp-only tanks, the shrimp are far more outgoing than if they're paired with fish. You also probably won't see your shrimp population grow if you have them paired with fish because baby shrimps are irresistible to most fish species. And that's going to wrap up today's episode on cherry shrimp. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and remember to rate the podcast on all platforms. The best way to support the show is to go to Patreon and get the sweet exclusive content like my side series, ad-free episodes, and my nature vlogs. Links to everything will be in the show notes. And thanks again for listening.